Was my birthday. So I turned 33, people. I'm getting old. So thank you for all the birthday wishes and all that. My birthday, though, got me thinking. It got me thinking, like, I'm kind of starting to reach this crossroads in my life. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, you kind of think about, like, how much experience is too much experience? You know? We're talking about DJing, obviously. I started DJing when I was 15. I just turned 33. So now I could say I've been a DJ for 18 years now, right? And the number's getting up there. It's getting like to be a lot. And like, is there a point where you kind of like cap it, you know, where it's like, you don't want to say too much experience because you're going to date yourself? You see what I'm getting at? Like I'm reaching the crossroads soon because 18 years is a lot. Like, you know, like when do I stop? When do I cap it? You know? Is it like 20 years of experience? Is it 30? You know? Or is it like a lot of people do? Like, you ever see the you know, the combined, right? Like is it 146 years of combined experience with our company? Okay, we were DJing the Civil War, right? we were there DJing, motivating the soldiers. Okay, DJing for the North, of course. I don't know, like how much is it, you know? And I think as far as experience, you know, my personal opinion, I've been giving this a lot of thought. Every birthday, I kind of like, you know, revisit this in my head, like how much is too much. And I think you got to find the sweet spot. Like, I think there's a sweet spot, right? Like, that's what she said. But I think there's a sweet spot. And Mike Walter actually had a really good point on on their podcast, on Joe Bunn and Mike Walter's podcast. Shout out to, if you don't listen, I mean, it's a fantastic podcast. Like, if you're a wedding DJ, holy shit. The PhDJ podcast. For a second, I was like, wait, what the hell is the name of it? But they were talking about this on their podcast. And Mike Walter was like, yeah, he's been DJing for 30 something years, but he caps it. He just says, yeah, I have over 20 years of experience. And he stopped at 20. That's like the sweet spot. And I agree with that. I think that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm just going to start saying, you know, I've been DJing over 15 years. When I hit 20, I'll move it up to 20. I think 18 is a weird number, you know? And that's kind of my game plan. Like, I've been saying, you know, oh yeah, I've been DJing over 15 years. When I hit 20, been DJing over 20 years. And that's it. And just keep it there. And not that I'm super old yet, but, you know, I don't want to date myself, you know, and I think this is definitely a young industry. Like, this is a young person's job kind of thing, you know, like if you're super old with weddings and stuff, because like all the couples, the average age of the couple. So just something to think about. And I mean, if I can give any advice too, like, let's say you're a younger DJ and you're just starting out and you don't have like these years, you know, you don't have like a large amount of years yet, you know, to kind of like say I have this much experience. Well, what I did, you know, when I was starting out and everything, is I just talked about the amount of weddings I did. And I think that's a good tip for you. So like, you know, if you've only been doing this a year, just talk about how many weddings you've been a part of. I started out in a company as an assistant, you know, and I worked a lot of weddings. I wasn't DJing them, right? I was training, and then like I was doing my assistant job or whatever, you know, but I was still a part of those weddings. So eventually it got to the point where I could say, yeah, you know, I started, you know, I've been a part of dozens of weddings. Then it moves to hundreds of weddings. And then eventually, you know, you get to the 1,000 mark. And you can say, okay, over 1,000 weddings. And that's what I said for years. Like the first 10 years of my career, that's kind of how, you know, like, yeah, I know I'm young, but I've been a part of over 1,000 weddings. You know, I've been doing this since I was 15, and, you know, it's kind of been my, like, you know, and that's been my kind of spiel. And then once you get to the big, you know, usually like 10 years, that's like a solid number, you know, and say, all right, then you can say, oh, been DJing over 10 years. And then you take it from there. That way you don't sound too inexperienced, but at the same time, you know, it's the fine line of not trying to sound too old, you know? So that's the crossroads I kind of think about it every birthday, but it's getting to be more and more apparent. I'm getting old, people. Getting old. Time is flying. I like 33, though. 33 is one of my favorite numbers. It's my favorite birthday since 23, Michael Jordan. So thank you all for the birthday wishes and everything.